It's definitely going to feel weird in Green Bay without McCarthy as the head coach. As he's been a head coach for them for so long, it does kind of seem weird for them to have a new head coach. I think the addition of Matt LaFleur is a very interesting one. I'm not sure if it's the one I would have made, but I do find it very fascinating, and I'm very looking forward to seeing how it will play out in 2019. Personally, I kind of like to call his scheme the sprinkler system, and here's why. It's basically set up like a sprinkler, where there's going to be a lot of protection on that center, and the play is going to go to any side along the outside. Like on this play, for example. As you see, Tennessee has 2 tight ends in the game, and judging by where Derrick Henry and Marcus Mariota are lined up, it seems like it could clearly be a running play. The whole point of coming out in this style of a formation is hopefully it's going to get the opposing team's linebackers to be very close to the middle of the field and also play up as it could be a running play. As you see, Miami's linebackers are clearly expecting a run here as they are very close to that middle of the field. They would be a lot more spread out if they were expecting a pass. That's good news for Tennessee because then they can just send a receiver up downfield and then set a tight end on an out route to the 40-yard line, and it could be an easy 5 to 10 yards. Miami linebacker Jerome Baker actually played this one pretty well. However, because of the initial positioning, that's how Tennessee was able to get a first down. Now, of course, if you're going to run this style of offense, that means you're going to have to run the ball a good amount, which to me, I think is actually pretty interesting. I mean, the Packers have Aaron Jones, who I think is a very good player, and so I could definitely see them building him to be a big part of this offense, which honestly, McCarthy probably should have done last year anyways. This is the style of running plays that Tennessee will often use. They have 2 tight ends on the right side of the screen, and they're each going to have one-on-one matchups on that right side of the screen. And then from there, they can have their right guard and right tackle double team an interior lineman. Then they can have their left guard and left tackle also have one-on-one matchups and send their fullback over to block the defensive end, and then send their center up to block that linebacker in the middle of the field. And now you might be thinking, okay, well that's great, but now there's a Dolphin who's still completely unblocked. Shouldn't Tennessee, instead of double teaming the interior lineman on the right side of the screen, maybe send their right guard up the block? But that's not really what the point of this play is. This is all an establishing play. The whole point is to try to get 3 or 4 yards. That's all you're trying to do here. It's a 2nd down and 9 early in the game, so you want Miami to think that you could be running from this situation a ton. However, you also want to do this in a way that's going to guarantee you to gain a few yards, so that way you can make an easier 3rd down play. That's the basics of this scheme, which is why I call it the sprinkler system, because it's a lot of runs to the inside, and then a lot of the big plays will happen towards the outside. Now, one of my big problems with this system is that it can be very easy to stop. As you see right here, Jacksonville's running a cover 3 zone, and the whole point of this play for Tennessee is they're going to try to pass the ball to their fullback who's running a flat route to the top half of the screen. Really playing a lot of cover 2 and cover 3 is the best way to beat that system, as it's going to allow you to have guys guarding the flat. As you see, the Titans actually executed this play pretty well, but the problem is Jacksonville was just ready to stop this type of play because they know this is the type of play that Tennessee loves to run. So this is a scheme that can be stopped. However, if you have talented players, that can more than make up for it. And also, it should be mentioned that I don't know if this is exactly the type of offense that's going to be ran in 2019, but it is the style of offense that LaFleur has always ran when he was been in the NFL. It's what he did in LA, and now it's what he did in Tennessee, and I'm assuming it's what he's going to do in Green Bay, although I could be wrong, but I imagine it'll at least be a variation of this sprinkler system. Plays like this are really what's going to make it so effective. As you see, Indianapolis has 5 guys on the line on a play like this, and it is actually going to be a cover 2 zone, which as I mentioned earlier, is a great way to beat the sprinkler system style offense. LA is going to have a receiver run a pretty simple slant route right in the middle of the screen, which should have no chance of getting open since this is a cover 2 zone and there are so many Colts in that middle of the field. However, take a look at the Colt who's in charge of guarding that zone that Ram is going to be running into. He's solely focused on looking at Goff and ready to make a play to see if it's going to be a run or a passing play. As you see, the rest of the Rams are already getting ready as though it's going to either be a run play or play action. However, Goff isn't. If you look, he doesn't even try to fake a handoff. He just instantly stands right back up and is ready to make a throw. This isn't a play that many teams run. However, it's a really smart one. You don't have to actually fully fake the play action to get all the benefits from a play action. Goff didn't fake a play action at all, but he was still able to get the benefits of having a play action by getting a linebacker out of positioning and making a pass for a first down because of that quick play. One of the key ways for this system to be successful is through the run game. Like in a play like this, for example. The Rams are going to have a tight end block an edge rusher, and then they're going to have their right tackle initially block an interior lineman, and then move up to block a linebacker, and once he blocks that linebacker, then their right guard will finish off the block on the interior lineman. From there, everyone else will have a one-on-one matchup on the line, meaning the next closest Redskins who are getting unblocked are the safeties. When it comes to simple plays, this play is about as simple as it gets. Los Angeles is basically just saying, we trust our guys to make our blocks, and we're going to see if we can get some yards through the running game. They end up getting 9 yards, which is a very good run, and it's all just from good blocking. The reality is, I think that's what this season is going to come down to for the Green Bay Packers, is how well their offensive line blocks. I do expect the LaFleur offense to be very different than we've seen in the past couple of years. After all, there's definitely a big difference between Aaron Rodgers and Marcus Mariota and even Jared Goff. I do think there are a lot of question marks, but let's be honest, when there's a coaching change, when isn't there a lot of question marks? I'm really interested to see how this works out, and if it does work out, we could definitely see the Green Bay Packers back in the playoffs once again.